My whole dream came crashing down in 2009 when a movie called Slumdog Millionaire wins the best Oscar.
I feel that it's a perfect movie.
Nobody edited this film. What the fuck just happened? No, that's why from a director point of view, Todd Phillips is nowhere because or story point of view or from the best picture point of view, it's nowhere because Oscar because 30 years they've not given him anything. Now he's old, already divorced so many times, already has 6 kids. They're like, dude, just keep. Still has 6 packs and 6 kids. Very difficult. Probably 3,000 of them become bookies. That's how it works. They know exactly what's going on.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, you read those kind of books. People should judge you. Everybody should judge you. Like how people are reacting and maybe something about the host because it's not gonna be like Ricky Gervais, but it's probably gonna be somebody gonna talk about climate. Alright, I am there. Hey Vikram.
Hi Gaurav. So
Alright, finally we're here. I just we thought it's already 8th today, so it's going to be in a couple of days. The Oscars are there.
yeah,
I think by the time this thing comes up, we probably won't be able to only update it today or tomorrow morning. So just in time for the Oscars.
yeah, it'll be just in time, just before, just I think 24 hours before Oscars maybe.
Alright, good enough. We might do another one after that, and we'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, as I was saying earlier, that as I was growing up in India, the whole award thing has been such a great thing, such a big thing that people love awards. Sometimes they call it certificate, sometimes they call it promotion, sometimes they call it trophy. But I think I've just grown up and people love awards. So,
Yeah.
and when we specifically talk about films, before I even got to know about Oscars, when I was growing up and I was not even teen. I started watching in the early 90s or mid 90s, to be clear, Filmfare Awards, which are still the biggest awards in India.
Yeah.
And
One of-
I felt those were the greatest things, like, because there was no there was cable was coming in, but even if you don't have cable, you have DD2. You're probably aware of DD2.
Yeah.
And then you would sit down with your family. It would usually happen on Sunday evening and it would run for like 3 or 4 hours. It's like a huge bonanza, like a carnival. Everybody, there would be like, if you went on the roads, I'm sure there was nobody there. It's like those Mahabharata and Ramayana things which used to happen in the morning.
Yeah, it was a big
Did
thing.
you also have
that time?
Did you have same? Sorry, I'm speaking over, but did you have a same relationship? Like, did you start watching Filmfare? Did you care for them?
Yeah, Filmfare. I used to watch we had cable from the beginning. Like when it started in India, my parents. I mean, a lot of people didn't used to have cable because they didn't want their kids to watch TV, but my parents were not so concerned because yeah. So we had cable from the get go, and as you said, we used to watch. It used to be a big event, right? Like it had lot of hype around it, and it used to have a lot of performances which we would look. I think we didn't.
A lot of
Yeah,
performances.
I
Yes.
think we didn't care much about the awards. I mean, at least me, because I was not, at that time I was not following every star and who is number one, who is earning so much. But I used to love the whole atmosphere, all the performances and all
Yeah,
the
the whole
jokes and
aura, right?
everything.
It was
So yeah, that was
the whole aura. The all
yeah.
super. Those people like used to mean something to us. We were like, wow, like Shah Rukh Khan or some, or like Amir Khan or all these whatever greats. Even Kareena Kapoor's sister, who was actually a star that time. Kareena, what's her name? Karishma Kapoor. Yeah.
Kapoor,
Yeah, those people like huge stars. I mean, some people are still like Salman Khan. They've still been there. Madhuri Dixit, even Manisha Koirala. Those people are like big shots.
Yeah,
That
I
time.
used to like Manisha.
First time I ever got to know about Oscars. Yeah, everybody loved Manisha at the early 90s. She was one of the most good-looking, beautiful, and she could act. If she got the right role, she would also act very well.
Yeah.
People used to call her the most naturally beautiful-looking person. But I think if you're from that region, from the mountains, and she was from Nepal, and
Yeah.
people are generally very, very good-looking. First time I ever really got into Oscars was first year in college. It was year 2000. I saw these two films, Gladiator and Erin Brockovich, and I was like, these movies have to get the best Oscar. No, I'm not talking about the best picture or best
Best picture,
cinematography.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know any better. I was always about acting, right? So it was like, and definitely Julia Roberts for Erin Brockovich and Russell Crowe for Gladiator, and they eventually ended up winning. I didn't even know anything about any other movies which were out, so I mean, my knowledge was not that great. But I'd seen these two films, I was like, sure. And then when they got the award, I was like, wow. And I just felt that, I graduated from local filmfare awards to something really great, which was impartial,
Yeah,
because
we have
it was,
all been
those
there,
were
I
very
guess.
partial awards. Yeah, partial awards, and I was like, wow, these things are good. It was only until my whole dream came crashing down in 2009 when a movie called Slumdog Millionaire wins the best Oscar, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And that movie was so bad, like so bad,
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Oh man, what did you think when it won? Did you feel the same way I felt? I was like, oh, what the hell is this?
So yeah, I think there are plenty of factors. I think why it won.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
All
again,
practical
talk
factors.
about Academy, like how Academy Award works. There are Academy members. I think now there are around 7,000 members, and
7,000.
uh,
Who are these people?
so their identity is not known. It's a closely guarded secret.
Ku Klux Klan.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you can guess some of them because they have got Oscar. So
Themselves.
whoever gets an Oscar, they are admitted to the academy, but then there are around 7,000, and they're all spread across the world. It's not just America, and
Mm-hmm.
they have been trying to get more members from outside, and like more variety, as you say. So, and I think that is also one of the reasons why you are seeing nominations for movies from like this year there is a Korean movie nominated
Mm-hmm.
for the best movie.
Correct.
And yeah, and India, I mean, for Westerners, India is all about this poor people. I think there is a term for that, right? Where they come, the foreigners come to India to see the poor slums, and I think it's called slum tourism or something like that. So it's
Slum
always
tourism is
yeah, it's always fascinating for them. So it was just a perfect mix. The
ghetto
academy was
tourism
trying
process.
to
Yeah. Hmm.
have more variety, and then this movie is like foreigners. Like it just hits the right notes. These movies, I mean, the movies, as you know, it's very ordinary. Even I think A.R. Rahman got Oscar for the music, and he has made much better music in his career. But this movie got, and this was his first Oscars. I think he got second for one
Another
zero.
movie, right?
Yeah,
So only 1 minute, 1 more minute I'm going to spend on this thing and just shit all over this movie. Why particularly? It's not like my personal hatred for the movie. Is that it's the most ordinary film ever
it's
made.
very
Okay,
ordinary. Yeah,
A.R. Rahman gets very ordinary. It's not just either it's best or medium or worse. It's the fact that it's two beat. If anybody knows anything about music, I mean anybody, a rank starter can make a music like it. Gulzar sir, who's like, it's like been written for like 50 years. I mean only one personality actually calls her automatically,
Hmm.
and the person and his lyrics like ring ring ringa, those kind of lyrics actually win him an Oscar. I mean for heaven's sake, Mike, for heaven's sake. It's just one thing, they just wanted to this movie to win. Danny Boyle's film, the guy who's made some amazing films, right?
Yeah,
Obviously Train Spotting is one
yeah.
of the greatest films ever made. Now if you realize that from 2009 and now into 2020, the amount of money that English movies or Hollywood movies, if you want to call them, make now, and then what they were making till this movie in 2009 wins the Academy Award, there's a gigantic difference. Okay,
Yeah.
now English movies are making 100 crores, 200 crores, even 300 crores. Like Avenger made like 350, God knows how much.
Yeah.
So this would not have been possible because the studios wanted to come in. I'm saying running a parallel to the same thing, same reason why Indian girls were winning beauty pageants, not because
Yeah.
it's just beauty pageant. Everybody is beautiful, but why are you specifically giving to these people? Because they wanted all these
Yeah.
big company, L'Oreal and
Yeah.
Sephora. And all, why I don't even know the names, but the change has from 1994 when first time Sushmita Sen and Aishwarya Rai won, and in 25 years down the line, it has been probably a change has been 1,000 times because it's this become like a $1 trillion industry, the makeup industry. Now that's coming in. So I think it was all. I'm not going to call it propaganda. It's a bad way, but it was all for practical reasons. And because I remember one, I don't remember all the movies which were there nominated, but one of the movies was Benjamin Button, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and that movie you'll agree that infinitely better than any day,
Yeah.
any given day from Slumdog Millionaire. So, but I think since then it's been like bit patchy, bit up and down, and I've realized that let's get into it directly. And you want to talk about Best Picture? Which one to talk about first?
Okay, so let's talk about Ford versus Ferrari because I think I
haven't seen it.
Yeah, so let's talk about how many movies you have seen out of all the nominations. So we are talking about
3.5.
the best movie of the year. We are talking about that, right? Not any
So
other.
best picture, right? Okay. Best picture, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to clarify this, yeah.
Yeah, so best picture, because we don't want to have a like 2 hour episode talking about everything. So yeah, I mean, how many movies you have watched out of all
Three and a
the
half.
sorry?
3.5.
Okay, three and a half.
Three and a
Okay.
half. Once upon a time, Joker, Marriage Story, and obviously the half. Obviously, people can guess is the long film
Irishman, yeah.
Or I Heard You Paint Houses. It's the other thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I have watched all the movies apart from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. Like you would expect that's the movie you'll watch because it's on Prime now, and everybody has Prime.
Yeah, I didn't get the time to watch it, and I kind of figured that it won't be. I mean, it would be a good movie. I mean, I just wanted to check out the other movies, but because they seemed interesting. So yeah, I watched all the movies apart from this one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I feel like an Academy member right now. Like I'm watching all these movies. so so yeah, the first movie I want to
Go on.
talk about is Ford versus Ferrari, because I think in my opinion, in my list of all the movies, it will be in the bottom. It's again
Least
a very
favorite, okay.
very great. I mean, it's a good movie. It's a great, in fact, a great movie. It's made
Mhm.
by James Mangold, who has been making a lot of superhero movies. He made Logan,
Mhm.
which was a very good movie. Also, I have seen that. So again, this movie is based on a true story. It's about this rivalry between Ford the second,
Okay.
and Enzo Ferrari, who is the owner who was the owner of Ferrari at that time. So there's this rivalry between them where Ford wanted to actually. Ferrari was not doing so well that time, so Ford wanted to take over the company. But
Mhm.
Ferrari, they have shown all this in the movie, and the executives from Ford went to Ferrari, and Ferrari actually Enzo Ferrari was there, and he actually humiliated them, and even called Ford as fat. So they decided to make a team and beat Ferrari in the 24 hours Le Mans race, which happens in France. It's a 24-hour race. So it's a very interesting movie, a very well made movie. There are good actors. Obviously, Christian Bale is there, Matt Damon is there, and
Okay, but this is going to take a lot of time if you're going to talk about every movie at length. So, when you tell me, like, because I've not even watched it, the audience, like, okay, listen, are you like releasing it? If they've watched it, because they might not be, oh, what
yeah,
do you
yeah.
watch?
I
If
mean,
they're
that's
not
what
watched, they're like,
I think
spoiler
I
alert,
mean,
spoiler
whoever
alert.
would have
What
watched
do
it.
you,
I mean,
what
we
do
are
you,
not going
what do
to
you?
go into spoilers anyway. Just talk briefly about it. So again, it's a very good movie. Its performance was really good. There are good dialogues. Music is really awesome. But again, why I don't think it will make the cut or will win the Oscars is because it's a bit overlong, like Irishman. I also felt that it's a bit long, and there are a lot of stereotypes. Okay, if you read about the actual story, a lot of things never happened, and they, just to make the movie interesting, they played on a lot of stereotypes. So I think it's
When has
in
that
that
stopped
regard,
anybody?
yeah. So, so in that regard, I felt that the movie missed some marks there, and because
Mhm.
we are going to talk about other movies, that there are really incredible movies in the list, and I felt that this for me, this is the bottom. This is in the bottom. So yeah,
All right, fair
that's
enough.
my take
Well,
on that.
let's just talk about the top three first, because let's just say because I think this is definitely gonna go to an hour. I'm feeling, but I just don't want it to go beyond the hour because that
Yeah,
will be too much. Because
yeah.
let's just say,
We won't talk. Yeah.
what is the movie? Do you tell me about? Let me ask you a question. Which, like, everybody knows by now, if whoever's listening and they've not seen the odds, we know that the one movie which is odds on favorite is 1917. You just tell me. I mean, I'll ask you questions because I've already seen it. Let me ask you a question, make it interesting. Do you think that's a deserving movie? Without comparing, we can compare later. But do you think if 1917 wins, according to you've seen all films, and by the way, I've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That should not ever
So
win. Okay.
yeah, in
But
my
do you
opinion,
think if 1917 wins,
1917 is a
then yeah.
deserving movie. If
Mhm.
again, since we are not comparing, but it deserves an
Mhm.
Oscar. if we just talk on the film's merit, the movie's merit, and we don't talk about the competition, so it deserves to be the winner. But there is one more movie which I feel is more deserving, so we can talk about it. But
Which
yeah,
everybody's talking
1970
about.
is a is I think one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion.
Okay, now the other movie obviously you're talking about is Parasite.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm like so intrigued right now because I really want to watch Parasite now.
Yeah.
I think last time I checked it was not in Bombay. I don't know why it was not. Were you telling me that it was in Bangalore? You said go watch it. I think I couldn't find it. Was you talking it's in Bangalore?
Yeah, I think
How?
yeah, it released in select theaters here, and my friend watched in Chennai, so he told me that it's out. So I checked, and it was there. So I watched it, and yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about it, why Parasite? I mean, I feel that it's a perfect movie.
Without
I
giving
mean,
like,
there's nothing.
I hope.
Yeah.
I
sorry.
hope it is not like a foreign film, so they've not seen this first time. So they're like,
No,
oh
no,
my
we are
God,
not.
this is so
We are
new.
not. And, I mean, I think we should have cleared this at the beginning. We are not going to go into spoilers at all. And in fact, I want everyone
No,
to
I'm
watch,
asking it.
watch this movie without.
I hope this is.
Sorry, go ahead.
I hope this is not. And by the way, I'm not going as far. I hope this is not something like Slumdog Millionaire
No,
shit
no.
happening.
No.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to that level. I'm just saying
Not at
probably part of it, not all of it, because Slumdog Millionaire is a shit film, or out and out. Okay,
Yeah.
but this film, I'm saying it might be good, but it might not be as good as people are thinking because it's just when you have not seen something, it's like that novelty factor. Oh my
Yeah.
God, this is so different. This must be so good. But
Yeah.
a Korean person might think like, dude, it's not that great. It's just a movie. We make these kind of movies all the time. You've seen it for the first time. Now you think it should get off.
No, actually I don't know how many Korean movies you have seen, but I have seen a few. In fact,
Yeah, they make really
I've
good
seen
movies,
this
by the way,
director's
right?
this director's Korean movie, the Memories of Murders. Memories of Murder. This is, I think, one of his famous Korean movies. He has also made Snowpiercer, which is an English movie. It was I think Korean and Hollywood collaboration, which is also a very popular movie. But no, yeah, I mean, I was saying that I don't. Anyone who has not watched this movie, I would say don't watch any videos about it. I know you are watching this video, but I won't go into any specific details or anything, because this movie will hit you more if you don't know much about it, because there are it's a, again, very simple. I mean, story wise it's a very simple movie, but it's just incredibly well made. The editing, the sound design, the set design, everything, it's just so polished. I was just taken aback by this movie. I watched it before 1917, so probably I mean, sometimes it happens, right? If you have already made up your mind that this movie is the best movie, then even if you watch something else, it feels like no, that again, still that movie is the best movie. So that can happen with me, but it's very normal, right? People who are also making decision for Oscars, they are also watching movies like that. They are watching, the movies are being screened for them, and in fact, it's very interesting. Uh, these members are sent movies, are sent DVDs or Blu-rays, and they are even sent these digital links where they can download the movie and watch it. And all during all the Oscar seasons, these digital files actually get leaked in the internet, on the torrent site and everything. So yeah, I mean, getting back to the movie, I just it's again, I'm not don't want to go into spoilers again, but it's just the way it is shot, the editing is, I think, the strongest point of this movie is the editing. If you see the movie, the way it is, they have not spent like wasted even a single frame. Every frame says something in this movie. So I mean, I'm again hyping it a lot. You may find it not so great, but again, it's choice based, right? I liked it a lot, and
Oh, I understand. But also what
yeah.
also what happens whenever you watch a movie which has already been hyped, plus you watch it, there's a lot of time gap. You never end up finding as great as people would because you're already like your mind is already like this is supposed to be great, this is supposed to be great. But if you find a movie like wow, I wasn't expecting this, so
Yeah.
that phenomena will play. When I end up watching it, but I'll try to clear my head. Probably have bunch of cocaine and then then watch it. It's just
Yeah,
easier.
I
So
would
my
say the
mind
same thing.
cleared the slate.
As you said, like, I think I knew about Parasite even before it was nominated for the Oscars, because as
Hmm.
I said that I actually follow a lot of Korean movies. I've seen a lot of famous ones and not even not so famous ones. So I knew about this movie before it became. I think it won a award in Cannes Film Festival. So
Correct.
from there it actually got highlighted, and interestingly it is nominated for both foreign movie and the in best picture.
It can't
So
win both, right? That'll be weird.
yeah. So
But it will be. It can technically it can because it's nominated, so it can. But I'm just saying, it won't it be like fucking pathetic if it wins both? Because then the foreign category is like, I mean, it's so niche. It's like hardly anybody ever wins anything. Now suddenly a movie wins both. It's just not gonna happen. By the way, the odds have been fluctuating all over the place for the last few days. Right now, it's still odds on second favorite, and it has. I mean, you can still like what it has like you put $1, you get $3. Like if you put
okay,
money on Parasite and if it wins,
where do I
if
put
you
my
put
money?
yeah, if you put $1, you will get 67 cents on 1917.
Okay.
1917 is the
Is
out
it
and out
okay?
favorite,
Yeah,
outright
because
favorite, but it's not
because
a given.
okay. Yeah, because see, 1917 again. I think it's popular because it's more mainstream. It's based on World War I, and has
Mainstream. What do you mean
English.
mainstream?
You got to understand that this is also a big barrier, language, because a lot of members actually don't want to watch a
All
movie with subtitles. That I've read about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, I don't think that could be that. Yeah, I'm not denying it completely. I'm just saying, look, also the language is one of the reasons why it's there in the first place. So I'm saying, kind of like evens out. One of the trouble when you call it mainstream, I think you're saying mainstream from an Oscar point of view, that Oscars tend to
yeah,
like uh,
exactly.
gravitate towards these kind of movies, the war movies, and they like these things. And plus, they've done exactly the same thing what Dunkirk did. I think they went like
Yeah.
one step ahead almost, right?
So it's
And
it's
because
very
that was for a
Dunkirk like.
small instance. Hmm.
The most the I think the selling point of the movie is that it is shot in a way that it feels like a single continuous single shot. There's no cuts in between. I mean,
Hmm.
in the movie, obviously they would have not been able to shoot it in one shot. I mean, in fact, I have watched the making. We are talking about 1917 now. So I watched
Correct.
the making of the movie, and they have taken very long shots, like 9-minute shots, 10-minute shots. So it is really well executed in that way technically. But the movie, yeah, I mean, if it is very much like Dunkirk, as you said, but again, Dunkirk was uh, like it centered around a bigger cast of people. Here it is just centered around two people who are going to deliver a message beyond.
I'm gonna briefly talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because that's one movie I've seen and you've not seen, and I'm a
Yeah,
huge fan of Quentin Tarantino. Then I'm gonna get into two movies, Jojo Rabbit, which I've seen without spoiler alerts, and then I'm gonna talk about Marriage Story because we both have seen it. And
sure.
I think we're gonna leave the rest of the movies. See, I'm a massive fan of Quentin Tarantino. When I say massive, I'm like a massive fan of Christopher Nolan and Martin Scorsese. I think they're definitely the greatest directors on earth. But if you really put a gun to my head and you say like which one you're gonna pick, one director, and I'm gonna pick Quentin Tarantino because personal choice, not because he's better than these people, but I just feel like if you're gonna ask me, that's the person who I really got like fascinated with to start with, and I think Christopher Nolan is probably definitely an even greater director, even Martin Scorsese. But for me, it's always been Quentin Tarantino. I love Quentin Tarantino, and I have seen all of his films, and I think he's just so great every single time. Even if people say, oh, I don't think much about it, I was like, yeah, forget about it. And I watched this movie, I had a lot of expectation. I ended up not watching it during the time it was released because I was writing my book and I was just cut off from everything. I decided not to watch it because I thought it will distract me for like fucking days, and I didn't have time. And I just wanted to finish my book. As you know, I finished my book in 94 days, so I cut off. And I watched it recently. It was on Prime. I think one factor does come into play that. Because I watched it on a small screen, so the cinematography and other things, it did not impact me as much. So I understand that, but my review is not to do with cinematography. I think it was wonderful. I think every set direction, art direction, everything was wonderful. But one thing was like, did nobody edit this film? What the fuck just happened? Nobody edited this film, and this is I'm not gonna spoil it for you also, but this is by far the worst film Quentin Tarantino has ever made. I
Okay.
hope he never ever because according to him he's only going to make one more movie, like 10th film. That will be it. I hope he ends up making many more films than that. Maybe he moves to TV or something. I don't know. But I hope he never makes a movie like this ever again because for Quentin Tarantino, I think he dropped the ball here. I think this is as they call the vanity project, and this was just all about ego boosting. I don't know what the hell this was. They had no story. Okay, forget about story. I'm not even caring for story. But I was like, this was just dialogue. Something you watch Pulp Fiction and you watch dialogue here, you'll be like, wow, what's going on? But anyway, I hope you enjoy the film cinematography. Everything else is just. I think I've lowered your expectations to such a level that once you watch it, you'll end up liking it.
No, even I've
Uh,
heard not. Even I've heard that it's very ordinary. Not ordinary, but it compared to his other movies, it's not up to the mark.
Yeah, for heaven's sake, for our other movies, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just move on from this thing. Let's talk about Jojo Rabbit. I've heard this is satire on the whole Nazi thing. Can you just tell me a little bit about why I should watch this movie? What did you like
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah, I mean it's again a very interesting movie. Again based on World War Two. God knows how many movies will be made on World War One and World
Yeah,
War
I
Two,
know, but
but
not good satire though. Yeah.
it's a bit different because it's based on the German side, and especially it focuses on a 10-year-old boy. Who is like a blind nationalist, like how we have right now in most of the countries,
Oh, he
right?
doesn't know any
So
better. You mean?
it
Okay.
is so this movie is very reminiscent of our situation as well. Like now we have uh,
Our
universally,
is in
not just talking
India.
about India. There are people who are
Jai
like
Hind.
blind
Okay.
nationalists, and they don't see much. They don't. I mean, they don't see any fault in their leaders, whoever they are.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay, go on. Just one
so
sec. For
it's
people whose English is not first language, he doesn't mean they're blind. They just mean blind mentally. Like
yeah.
they marks the blind. Okay, go on.
So
Sorry about
yeah,
that. Yeah.
so it's a satire, as you said. It's based on a German boy whose mother was played by Scarlett Johansson. She's also nominated for this role as the supporting actress, and so she's hiding a Jew girl, and
Mm-hmm.
this boy is like a and he's as I said, blind nationalist. He's a Nazi through and through. He has an imaginary friend who is Hitler. So this the Hitler character is played by the director himself, who is a New Zealander. His name is Taika Waititi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. So if you want to know who he is, he has made a lot of superhero movies as well. Thor, which is part of Marvel universe. So this guy has made this movie, and he's also playing Hitler in it. So it's again very. I think most of the movies are going for comedy right now. So this is also
It's
comedy.
comedy, right? Yeah, it's comedy. Yeah, it's all
I
comedy.
mean, obviously satire means there will be comedy. So and the movie is about how he is a blind follower of Hitler or Nazis, and then he meets this Jew girl, and how the interaction happens, and how his view changes and all that. So it's a very sweet movie, even though the topics it touches are not very pleasant. But it's a very very good movie. I felt it's a very important movie for our times, because uh, it it just talks. You can draw parallels between what is happening now and what is shown in the movie as a background. So that way I felt that the movie is good. And then I mean, I really liked the movie, but then I went online and saw like why people are hate. I mean, some people are really hating on this movie because they feel that it's like whitewashing the Nazis a bit, because it's all humor, and even though they have done some very bad things, they to be clear, in the movie they are not showing Nazis as good people, but when people are just angry about that, how you can make jokes about the situation and all that. So
Of
again
course you
political
can.
correct movement and all that is going on, so it's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. But as a viewer myself, I really like the movie, and really like the idea of the, because it uses a lot of even though it's based during the World War II era, it uses a lot of modern jokes. So it's a very unique movie, I would say. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Spend enough time on that one. So also we know that that movie is not going to win, and I think the last movie which is left is Marriage Story. I really like the film, but you love the film. I thought what I thought was like it was obvious that it's very theatrical, and some of the dialogues. I mean, it's all about dialogue. It's people. It's more of a like you get a peek into today's modern marriage and when how things can go wrong. Otherwise, the similar things which would have happened till in the 20th century, people would have said like, well, this is how it is. Buckle up. This is how it is.
Yeah.
This would not be grounds for asking for divorce, right?
Yeah.
And how the divorce procedure happens now, and how expensive could it be? How problematic could it be? How manipulative it could be? How not particularly from the people themselves, but from the lawyers and. How I mean, just kind of gives you a bit of a peek. I've never been married. I've come close to marriage for a long time ago, but you have been married for what, 7 years?
Yeah.
6 years, 7 years. So 7 year age is always there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
If you try to kill somebody, I'm not gonna say directly who, but yeah, people get it. So how you said you were able to relate it, because I can totally understand whenever something people can relate to, they find it better.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought. Can you
Yeah.
just tell me why specifically for like that happened? to you?
Yeah, because I think we talked about it personally. So it's as I said, very relatable to us because we have also been married for 7 years, and the kind of issues they have in the movie, both the couple, Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, who play
Hmm.
the husband and wife. So the kind of conflicts they have, it's very common in modern society, and we have also faced similar conflicts, and what they have shown is like a cautionary tale for the couples or whoever are married, because you can see the gap of communication. If you remember, the movie starts with a voiceover where
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson's character is explaining about her husband, and her again then the voiceover changes back to the husband, and he is explaining about his wife. So, and from there only it started. I mean, I think we already talked about it. The director has also been through similar divorce. He was married to an actress. I think I don't remember the name of the actress, but he also was married to an actress, and then they got divorced after a few years of marriage. So for me,
Okay, because that's why
yeah,
that's what was really clear to me, that the Bomberg guy, right? He's written it himself and directed it
yes,
himself. You could
yeah,
feel that nobody could
the-
make this movie without really been through that, because that subtleties, those nuances
this,
were like in play. I mean, unless you
yeah.
can be so good. But sorry to cut you off. Go on.
Yeah, so that's the thing, the nuances, the subtleties, and how the conflict started building up and how it went to that extent. Because when the movie started, we know that they're getting divorced, but there was not much of a confrontation happening between them. There was not many
Hmm.
issues between the two people. But that by the time movie ended and the lawyers got involved and all that, so obviously you're not getting divorced. So I don't know how
Hmm.
the law works here, but you can just see that the longer it went on, the more bitter they started becoming each other. So and this happens with a when
Understandable.
it happens in a conflict, right? If you are having a go at your partner, and even she is coming at you, and the longer it goes on, the bitterness comes out a lot. So if you are able to understand as a couple, if you're able to sort out your differences before it goes to that extent, I mean, this will never happen. So that way I
Yeah,
was
as
able to,
this, yeah,
yeah,
true. As they say, when you break up, when these things happen, you tend to forget all the good times, and you
yeah,
tend to
yeah.
exaggerate all the bad times, and just becomes that's the only part. We've spent a lot of time here on these, so should we talk about briefly on the director first, or the we were talking about leading actor, right? No, what were we talking about? We were supposed to we were just on the movie still.
We're just talking about the movies, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the leading actor then, like
Mm.
male.
Mm.
Joaquin Phoenix is, by the way, when I was saying that the movie for the movie, it's most likely that Parasite will not win, but it still has a good chance, and
Yeah.
1917 will win. Joaquin Phoenix right now betting odds are like so bad. Like you're gonna get $1 if you're gonna put $41 on Joaquin Phoenix. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay,
think it's very
that's the
apparent
best.
that
By the way, that's
he
the
will win
best.
the
That's the
lead
best.
actor award.
Best you can get, because there are companies which will pay you $1 for every $100 you put on it. So they're really the funniest part is Adam Driver is the second favorite. Like you'll get $10 and $1 if you put. So,
Yeah.
but you can understand that it's 500 times odds are against Adam Driver, who's the closest.
Yeah, I
So,
think I've not seen the Lighthouse. Oh, sorry, not Lighthouse. I've not seen all the movies whose actors are nominated there. But if whatever we have seen, I think I've not seen Pain and Glory. Antonio Banderas is again nominated. Leonardo DiCaprio is nominated, but as you said, the
and
movie is
Jonathan
not
Priest,
so
yeah,
great, so I don't see him winning. Uh,
he's alright, yeah.
so I think the competition is obviously between Adam Driver and Joaquin Phoenix. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean this. I think this is one of the
Do you
straight,
think it's fair?
the easiest pick,
More straightforward?
unless
Yeah,
it's
easiest one.
yeah.
See, what I've noticed is over there, in this thing I want to briefly talk about that I've noticed also apart from the disaster that happened in 2009, which we explained why exactly it happened for practical reasons. Academy Award seems to be, what happens like sometimes when you feel somebody deserving and they keep getting nominated but never win the award. Somehow eventually comes a point then they realize that even if this is not their best film per se, they have to give it. Like it happened with Leonardo DiCaprio for Revenant, which was not his greatest performance but the greatest effort per se, because he had to be, for the film shooting they had to be like in some minus 45 degrees and the entire
Physically
there
it
was
was
no
draining.
story.
Yeah.
But it was just that after the fifth occasion, this guy's getting nominated, and this guy's done so well. You can't snub him that time, and they felt like okay, nobody else is like outright favorite to win it. So they said if they give it to him, there won't be an outcry. They gave it to him. The same thing happened with Martin Scorsese for Departed in 2006 because he had been making movies for more than 30 years. The greatest director they don't give him. They're giving for Departed. Again, Departed was a much better film than Revenant. Revenant was not a great film, which is a well-made film. It was more an effort than it was difficult to make than a great film.
Yeah.
I think same thing is happening with Joker. Joker is a very, I would say, without being totally harsh, that's why from a director point of view, Todd Phillips is nowhere because, or story point of view, or from the best picture point of view, it's nowhere because it's a very derivative film. You don't see a scene, a setup that you've already not seen at least multiple times if you have seen a lot of films.
Exactly.
The train scene to start with, like, have you not seen the same goddamn scene happening over? The girl comes in the train, these people who are like, upper class, younger kids, and they're trying to fuck with this guy, and they beat him up, then he just beats them up, kills them, and just walks away. And apparently, there's nobody there in the station.
Yeah.
Ever. There's no cameras, there's nothing. Okay. So those things happen. I just feel that it's about effort, and when you go on effort and you compare it with Adam Driver's effort, how much Adam Driver specifically had to put an effort for his acting role in Marriage Story, and the effort that Joaquin Phoenix, how much kilos did he lose? 30 kilos, 50 pounds, 60, like crazy amount of weight you had to lose. And apparently, when you lose weight, you win Oscars. Matthew McConaughey won for, and I've not seen that movie, Dallas. What is that movie?
Dallas Buyers Club.
The Dallas Buyers Club. And when you lose this amount of money, you're really going to win the award, right? Even one time, one of our favorite actors, Christian Bale, also lost tons and tons for Machinist, right?
Yeah,
he just
Machines.
went
I mean, he
completely
loses a lot of weight
insomnia.
from other movies. I mean, he does that. It's his thing.
Yeah, he does that for tons of movie. But I think this time, I think it's reasonable to give him. Like, I don't care for the movie much. I thought it was a very decently made film, but not a great film. Direction was just, anybody could have directed. But I think from acting point of view, the comparison, and I've like briefly seen some of the other movies that are up there. I really think it's reasonable to give him. And Joaquin Phoenix has done, because I was 15 years ago I was upset when he didn't win for the movie when he played Johnny Cash. When he played Johnny Cash, and then Reese Witherspoon ended up winning. When she in the same movie she played June Carter, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? This guy was like so amazing in that movie, and then that he doesn't win, and 15 years have passed now. Academy Awards are there. I think this was one of the situations where even before watching the movie, people were saying he is going to win the award, and now the point has come. I don't think there's any debate, there's any competition. He's going to win it. I think I'm perfectly fine with him winning. He deserves it holistically, not specifically just for the role, but overall 20 years of body of work. I think it eventually deserves this. It's a collective award than specifically for a single movie.
Yeah.
And there's not much competition this year, so I think it's
there
pretty
is
much
not much.
not
That's what I said. That it's one of the easiest pick.
Easiest pick. I'm gonna quickly move because we have gone into like 40 odd minutes now. Best actors. Have you seen? I think you've also not seen all the films. By the way, Renée Zellweger is like out and out favorite. You're gonna
What is
get
it?
like $1 if you're gonna put $25. The
Okay.
best you're gonna get is $1 for $12. The closest is apparently our favorite Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, but you're gonna get like $8 for $1. So it's like 8 into 12. What is that? So around 100 times more favorite. You have Renée Zellweger for Judy, which a movie nobody liked, nobody cared for, didn't make any money, and even critics were like, "What the fuck is this thing?" So, but her performance, it's again the effort situation because
Yeah.
Scarlett did not have to put any effort. She is an actress. She's playing an actress. I mean, how much? She's already done similar movies. If you've seen her earlier films, even the one with Christopher Nolan, Prestige. She played the similar
Prestige,
actress
yeah.
role long time ago. So nothing much, but Renée Zellweger, it's a musical, and she had to like completely transform herself in a different accent also.
Yeah, these are. I
And
mean,
so
these kind of roles are meant for Oscar win, not for making money.
oh yeah, this is like old Moulin Rouge, and
Yeah.
apparently movie was also not great, but she's a shoe-in favorite. Uh, I really, but while I was researching on this, I really want to watch Bombshell now, which has Charlize Theron for Best Actor. She's not gonna win, but it has lot of people in there, and I'm really excited about watching that film. It looks like one of those great masala films. It's like something you're gonna really enjoy. I think you
Yeah,
should
I
also
think.
watch it. It's
Yeah,
in
I think
theaters.
even Margaret Robbie is
Margot
also
Robbie is there.
nominated for
Nicole
the
Kidman is there. Yeah,
supporting.
and Nicole
Yeah.
Kidman is not nominated, but is there? Yeah, Margot Robbie. But again, that's a token nomination. You're never gonna win an award for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a token nomination because Margot Robbie is popular. By the way, this girl in Little Women, her name is pronounced Saoirse Ronan. It's spelled as Saoirse, but it's pronounced as Saoirse. I did not know she's the girl who won the Golden Globe for Lady Bird in 2017. I really love that film. If you haven't watched it, please watch it. Lady Bird
Lady Bird.
2017. She plays a
Yeah.
schoolgirl.
I have
Um,
seen this actress in other movies. I think. Yeah.
oh yeah, and I did not know she was Irish. I just saw her in an interview and she started speaking. I was like, whoa, what just happened? Because sometimes when you see an American guy, you're like, oh, he's English, and then you like Irish because it's a complete contrast accent, English accent, but then American, and then Irish is another level altogether. So I'm like, whoa, it's not even Northern Ireland because they're like it's still part of United Kingdom. Ireland is
Okay.
completely different, so they probably don't even speak English as the first language. They already
Yeah.
have their
Yeah. I
Irish
think that.
language, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
So it was
Yeah,
just
we
like
have
I was
seen
just
that in
shocked.
Irishman, right? Sometimes they speak in Irish.
Yeah, they speak in Irish because I think this guy obviously Robert De Niro plays Irish guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there is this
So
conflict between Irish family and the Italian mob. Yeah.
correct. So Renee has already won. I think she's not won Best Actor award for Academy, but she's won multiple Golden Globes, and she's definitely going to win. So our Scarlett is not going to win. I really don't see how she's going to win. I think we have not seen it, but I think we're comfortable that apparently with the amount of effort people put in to play that musical and from that different era. So it's a period film. So I think it's just yeah, it's reasonable. I don't know if I'll ever watch Judy. If it comes on television or like it's on Netflix or the other channels, I might watch it. It's in the theaters right now.
Oh, is it?
Uh, yeah, probably again not to you. I'm not sure how much is there to talk with the actors because we really haven't seen much of the
Yeah,
film.
we
And
haven't seen many
it
movies.
seems like Renee is just on a
I
win,
think
right?
we can briefly talk about because because Joe Pesci and Al Pacino, they are nominated for the supporting role, so we can briefly talk about Irishman.
Let's talk about supporting roles then. You know who's gonna win, by the way? Brad Pitt, out and out favorite.
Oh, is it? Even though the movie was not
Oh,
yeah, I mean, that doesn't matter.
oh, crazily favorite, like
Okay.
crazily out and out favorite.
Okay.
So there's no chance of anybody else winning. It's just
But I really hope
not
that
happening.
Al Pacino. I mean, I have not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again, but even though I didn't, I mean, I kind of liked Irishman, although it was too big. I think it would have like bombed very heavily if it was released in theaters. It's a
Mhm.
Netflix movie, so that there's not much. I mean, we there's not much consideration about the financial part of it, but apparently they spent like 159 million on the movie for making the movie because they had to
Which one are
make
you talking about? Irishman.
Irishman.
Oh yeah, because they have using all this technology, right?
They
Because
had to
they're playing
use that
everybody look
de-aging
young.
effect on Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and I think Al Pacino played his age. I think they didn't.
Yeah, Joe Pesci is the second favorite, but if you really multiply the favorite thing, it's actually 500. Brad Pitt is 550 times more favorite than Joe Pesci.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get like $1 if you put $50 on Brad Pitt to win, you get $1 back. If you put $1 on Joe Pesci, you get $11 back. So if you can do the multiplications, it's 550 times more.
Yeah,
It's
I
crazy,
think.
right? Because it was very ordinary role. It was like, and by the way, if you watch the movie, you'll be like, this is exactly how Brad Pitt acts in every other movie, including all the three Ocean 11 movies. And this is the way he talks. He struts, does his shit, and he just goes on. So I'm like, again, seems like a collective Oscar because 30 years they've not given him anything. Now he's old, already divorced so many times, already has 6 kids. They're like, dude, just keep. Still has 6 packs and 6 kids. Very difficult. 56. He's 56.
But most of them are
6
adopted.
kids. Yeah, but 56, 6 kids and 6 packs, and kind of like they're like he needs some Oscar, which is also a 6-letter word. I mean, that's making up stuff now. So another collective award because how do you think Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and Tom Hanks and Anthony Hopkins would have acted worse than this guy? I mean, can you even imagine? Can you imagine that?
I've only seen Joe Pesci and Al Pacino in Irishman. I've not seen any other movie which is for which they are
But I'm
nominated.
just saying in general,
Yeah,
that
but I
Tom
mean-
Hanks had to play a character, Anthony Hopkins had to play a pope. This guy had to just do exactly the same thing, wear a Hawaiian shirt for the entire film, just walk around, beat up people, and say something nasty, which he does all the time. I'm just saying, if he wins, why is he winning Oscar for this thing? Why is he 550 times more favorite than the closest Joe Pesci? When this guy has done exactly the same thing he's doing for the last 30 years, so goddamn.
So I think it will be interesting to see eventually who wins and how the. I mean, I don't know how this betting the odds work because this should be like a closed voting, right? The 7,000 Academy members, they are voting. And nobody actually knows who are these 700 Academy members. So
Well, they know.
This betting odd work.
Yeah, probably what happened is probably 3,000 of them become bookies. That's how it works. So they know exactly what's going on.
That's a good one.
So bookie / Academy. What do they call the panel? Academy panel. What do you call them? The
Academy members.
7,000 people. Members, yeah. So they're / So it's kind of working out all right for them. Okay, what about Laura Dern? You liked her and she's definitely winning. She's another like outright favorite. She's favored by 400 times to the next one. Florence
Who's
Pugh.
the next one?
Florence Pugh, or how you pronounce this, P-U-G-H. So either it's Hugh or Pugh, or definitely not Pug or Pugh. But it's like if you say Hugh Jackman, Hugh, so it's pronounced Florence Pugh.
Okay.
For the, I don't know which movie is it for.
It's for Little Women.
Double check it. Little Women?
Yeah.
Yeah. Florence Pugh. Yeah, Little Women. It's a younger girl. Florence. I thought some old lady. It's a younger girl.
Yeah,
so
it's
Laura
based on
Dern is
that.
400 times
This
more
movie is based on that
favorite.
famous novel, right? I think Little Women.
Yeah, I think so. I have no idea. I'm just going to agree with that.
I'm again guessing. I don't. We'll put a disclaimer if it's wrong.
No problem. We're supposed to be. We're like Joe Rogan. We say random shit. It's like, you don't have to believe us anything. But again, Laura Dern again looks like one of those awards, because how do you explain how Margot Robbie fine, but Scarlett Johansson in that movie, you've seen the film, how Katie Bates, how these people have acted less, because Laura Dern, I think, have you not seen the same kind of character?
Yeah, it's a very again stereotypical character.
Stock character, right?
So,
and she's done well. I'm not saying she's not done well. I'm not saying she's not good. I'm just saying why specifically this time Laura Dern wins it when people have done it over and over again. Because by that logic, even the other
sorry, yeah, go ahead.
By that logic, even Adam Driver's lawyer should get nominated for best Oscar.
Really,
right? By that logic, yeah.
Yeah, he also did a similar kind of role, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I think for supporting actors, it's like some people like, just give another collective, because by the way, Laura Dern has been there for a long time. She was the one who was this guy's mother also in The Fault in Our Stars, the dying girl's mother.
Yeah. I've not seen the movie. I've read the book. Not read the book. I just know about the book.
Oh yeah, you read those kind of books? People should judge you. Everybody should judge you. Okay, it's going good. Which one? Director. Let's go to director. So we are, I think, around 50-minute mark now. So director. Again, it's a bit of a shoe in on director. Who are you gonna pick if you were to, like, without even see, like, if you did not know any accord who has been nominated? From the movies you've seen, which guy you would have picked for the best director?
Uh, I would again select Parasite. This is very apparent. Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
Because again, I think he has done an incredible job. So again, who you should tell me who is the favorite to win according to the
It's
booking?
the same. It's the same situation. Like the John Who is the second favorite, but again,
Sam
it's like
Mendes.
huge. Like when I was saying for the best film, Parasite can still surprise them because it's like it's like 6 times higher chance of like 4 times chance, like, the best. But this time it is around, give or take. What's my math? 18 times. Sam Mendes is 18 times favorite to the
Okay.
second favorite, which
Yeah,
is John
I would
Woo.
not.
And then
Yeah, I would not worry much about if Sam Mendes wins because even I think even that movie is incredible, and as a director, that movie is. That movie is a director's movie. If you see, a lot of nominations are for cinematography. I'm talking about 1917. A lot of the nominations are about cinematography, design, sound design, special effect. It's a very technically well made movie. So I would not lose my sleep if Sam Mendes wins.
what does direction really mean, right? Why do you get direct, like, what is a good direction, like,
See,
uh,
director is someone who
because if it's all about
assembles a good team,
cinematography, then
who
but
can
that's
bring
producer.
his
Yeah,
vision
no,
on the
fair.
screen. So if you see, I mean, if you talk about Joker or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the directors of this movie, uh, uh, it's if you talk about the movie as a whole, the movies have very like good performances, but if you see the direction, it's more difficult to make a movie like 1917. When you watch it, you will understand. Because again,
Correct.
it's a very technically well made movie. They had to do lot of, they had to get lot of good technicians, and they had to do lot of rehearsals, and to at the end of the day to bring that vision where they want to show the movie in a single one take shot, and then have those moments in the movie. Just 2 minutes. So have those moments in the movie uh, come out well on the screen. So that way, I would feel like we were talking about best actor, right? Where Joaquin Phoenix lost so much weight and he went through a lot of that physical pain. So similarly, for making a movie like 1917, the director must also have gone through a lot of not physical pain, but uh, lot of fine tuning, lot of planning and all that. So that way, I would agree that if I would agree if Sam Mendes wins, but I am hoping that uh, jo- Bon John who also gets a look in.
Didn't Sam Mendes already win an Oscar like 20 years ago for American
American
Beauty?
Beauty, yeah, yeah.
Did he win an Oscar?
I
Please
don't know
fix
whether
me. Did he win an Oscar? He
he
won.
the
He won. He
the
won.
movie
No, no. He made
movie
the
won the
movie.
best movie, like it won the Oscars for best movie. I'm not sure about the director. Maybe we can check.
In fact, I'm just double checking this thing. I was like, because has he already won? Because he's definitely very popular from that. He was more popular because he married Kate Winslet, by the way. People don't know. And divorced. People don't think that he's still married. So, Oscar. How many Oscars did he win? I was like, I can't really see. He's favorite to win now, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not sure is he won or not.
I don't think he has won Oscar.
Oh, he's got this guy's got knighthood. His name is Sir Samuel Alexander Mendes. This is crazy.
It's
Man, I
bigger
did
than
not know this.
Oscars, I would
He's
say, being a knight.
man, he's got
Being knighted.
knighted. Like in
Yeah.
India, everybody's Sir. Like people call me Sir all the time. It's like it's just crazy. He's like
Mm.
his debut drama earned him. Oh, he won an Academy Award and was Best Director. Okay, he made his directorial debut. By the way, when I watched American Beauty, I was like, why is this movie winning the best?
Yeah, even I didn't
Like
understand. I
why?
still don't
I was
understand.
like, what? Because they have this polythene flying. I mean, like, and I was from India at that time. I was like, we have polythene flying everywhere. Even if you're not trying to put it in, it's always flying in the within the camera, within the in your while you're taking a shot. So I was like, wow, people used to talk about that polythene. Just like, look at the polythene flying. He won Golden Globe and he won an Academy Award for the first film. That was his first film, and then he married. as I said, Kate Winslet divorced in 11. Now he's married again. He has 2 children. I don't know who with who, but let's not get into that topic. So
Yeah.
you're pretty much comfortable, you said, with this guy winning.
Yeah, I'm
70
comfortable.
is
Yeah.
Okay. Which one is left? Because which ones are left now? Actor we've talked about. Best picture actress we've talked about. Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, I think we have talked about everything. We talked about director as well. So now, I mean, there are a lot of other categories which we decided not to go in that. Cinematography.
So
is
we-
there.
I mean, we can still complete. Like, if we end up watching the show, the Academy Awards, whether rerun, because I think it happens when we're sleeping, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it happens very early.
Yeah.
I think 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but again, because now with the technology, I'm sure they're gonna put it. Where they're gonna put it on Netflix, on YouTube, where they're gonna put it. It's like it's gonna be up there, right?
I think it will
So-
come on Hotstar, probably. It
So
used to
Hotstar-
come on
so
Star
if we
World,
wa-
so it should
yeah,
come on.
when
Hotstar.
when we watch it, I think we can do a good commentary for once I watch it. Like there could be a few things that what's happening, how is it, like how people are reacting, and maybe something about the host, because it's not gonna be like Ricky Gervais, but it's probably gonna be somebody gonna talk about climate change.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I can.
Joaquin
that's
Phoenix
what
might
he's
talk
doing.
about climate change.
You don't have to be bookie.
He's been arrested already.
Yeah.
So that was something. So I think I'm comfortable with this. Let's just say I think the only debate is for the best film, best picture, as they call it. So if Parasite wins, this will be a major breakthrough. But who knows? It's like Donald Trump won before that. Not for the film. I'm saying anything is possible these days. In the United
Anything,
States.
yeah, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Kanye West for the president. He's my president. Did you know in Getty Images they sell pictures for like $37,000 bucks, like rupees?
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, you say you can buy it for 30. I was like, who do you think I am? Like, who is gonna buy this? Oh, it's for the professional use. They make a lot of money, man.